We're live.
Hello, hello, hello. We are live. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Come on in and join us. It's the Millionaire Ladies Mob, and we're here again because it's Thursday, and we're on every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Let me introduce myself. I am Carmen K. Bernard. I help everyone that I meet to get out of debt, to build wealth, to create a legacy, to create an income stream that they cannot outlive, and definitely to protect their income in the case of catastrophe or incapacitation or whatever it may be. I help you to do that. I'm glad to be here tonight. Tonight is going to be a special night. Our other millionaire lady is not here as yet, but be sure she will be joining us. And she popped in right on time, so she'll be able to introduce herself. But let me kick it over to Aaliyah. Aaliyah, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, hello, everybody. Thanks for joining. My name is Aliyah Sherrod. I am the healthcare queen. I help provide solid solutions to some of the biggest problems in healthcare today by helping families and those that have Medicare or are Medicare eligible, anyone that has a small or medium-sized business. So we call those employer groups. I help them save money, get incredible health coverage for their dependents and employees, and reduce anxiety about surprise medical bills. I also am an advocate for women in insurance. We are working to bridge that gap of equal pay and equal benefits. And so our passion here at Millionaire Ladies Mob is to make sure every woman and those that follow us has access to valuable resources and that you can build your own business. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Like and follow Millionaire Ladies Mob.
Awesome, awesome. Shalonda, can you tell everybody about yourself?
Good evening. I am Shalonda Kaiser Mitchell. I am a certified financial planner. I help with preparing for your future self, your future financial self. Help you with your debt. I help you with budgeting, creating a budget, sticking to it, growing your money, and saving your money. I can be reached on all social media platforms and at shalondakaisermitchell.com.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Saran, are you ready? Uh,
I stay ready.
Go ahead, introduce yourself, Miss Saran.
Good evening, everyone. I am Saran Baker, your debt elimination queen. I'm here to help you free yourself from the grips of debt and usher you into the new rich, which is debt free. I can be reached at saran10k.com. And you can do anything you want with saran10k.com. That's my digital business card.
Awesome, Saran. I'm not sure if you know, but we're not seeing you at all on the screen. We have a black screen.
Okay, I'll try. I'll try and fix it.
All right, all right. Well, listen. We are so happy that you're here with us today because we have a very special guest that's joining us today, and she is gonna be our inaugural guest because this is the first outside guest that we are bringing on the show. So you be prepared. Have your questions, pop them in the comments so that we can read them. But we talk about all sorts of things here on the Millionaire Ladies Mob. As Aaliyah told you, we want to make sure that as women, we take care of the men too, but as women, that we are prepared for our best selves. And so tonight we're talking about living a healthy lifestyle. And we have joining us today Miss Tiffany D. Kelly Williams. She is a health and wellness lifestyle coach. And let me just tell you a little bit about Miss Kelly before I bring her on. So Tiffany D. Kelly, let me take my glasses off so I can read this, is a native of Brooklyn, New York, with a winning personality and a heart for the people. She's a healthy lifestyle coach, Amazon best-selling author, and international speaker. Tiffany has served over 20 years in education, with the last 12 years as an instructional coach. She's the CEO of Tiffany Inspires, a company comprising of several brands with one focus: providing services and products that help women improve their health and wellness. In addition, Tiffany is the founder of Fit Teach, a health and wellness professional development company dedicated to helping school districts reduce burnout, build resilience, and stop the exit of educators from the profession. Tiffany has a bachelor's degree in business management, master's in math education and educational leadership. In addition, she completed coursework in coaching, advanced nutrition, and fitness training. Tiffany has over 10 years of experience in health and wellness coaching and group fitness. Currently, Tiffany is working on completing her National Academy of Sports Medicine Wellness Coach certification. Tiffany is the author of several books. Our books include Lady of Power, 31 Mind, Body, and Power Inspirations for the Weight Loss Journey, Fit Teach, a self-care planner and journal. She's a contributor in the book Awesome Women on the Move, Inspirational Daily Journal, and Cooking Healthy with Tiffany, and I Choose Me journal. She's the recipient of several awards and has been featured on radio, television, and magazines, and as a speaker at conferences and retreats. Her personal journey of losing over 80 pounds and rising above many health and wellness challenges inspires so many. Tiffany is determined to help herself and others live happy, happy, and free. Listen, we are in for a treat tonight as we will listen to this lady. Let me bring her on. Tiffany, welcome, y'all. Welcome. Y'all give Tiffany a hand here. Tiffany, welcome. Did I leave anything out?
No, I was like, wait a minute, she gonna read the whole thing for real.
I wanted to make sure people know that what you were going to share with us comes from a place of knowledge, care, love, and all of that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm honored to be here, and thank you for having me as your first actual guest. I'm really excited. I feel so honored. I feel so special.
We will remember this for always. We're going to be like our inaugural guest, Tiffany D. Williams. We are going to present you with a Millionaire Ladies Mob t-shirt.
Yay!
What happened? Okay, yeah, we're gonna make sure we present you with a Millionaire Ladies Mob teacher so you can be one of us. So Tiffany, welcome. And I know that you are right now not at home, not in your own space. You said I know you've been for a couple of weeks spending time with mom, helping to make sure that mom is good.
Yes, it's been an interesting journey. I was supposed to be here for only a week. I've been here 3 weeks. My first week here, I think I shared with you, Carmen, a couple of weeks ago. I got COVID while I was here, had to recover from COVID. So I think I'm okay to go home now. So it's been a journey. But, I always look at the good in things. Everything happens for a reason. My mom needed me. I was supposed to go to Dallas after I left here. And so, I look at it as, I was supposed to be here to help my mom. Not only that, in the time I was not feeling well, that's also quiet time when God gets to talk to you, gets in your ear. I couldn't get you to slow down, but I know you got COVID right now, but let me just talk to you for a moment.
Right.
So that's how I look at it. It's always, and even since I've been here, I shared it to you yesterday. I just finished working on a new project for my new self-care journal for educators, one of my newest ones. And so, I'm still creating even while I'm here chilling. So it just, I just thank God for the opportunity to sit and be quiet and let him speak to me and help me to make adjustments and be able to help my mom and do things while I'm here. So it's a blessing. It's a blessing.
Well, God has a way of getting our attention. So let me just ask you, Tiffany, why did you get into this healthcare space? One of the things that I shared today when I shared this live and say, come join us, people, is that health is wealth. Right. And if you can have all of the money in the world, you can have all of the wealth in the world. But if you do not have your health, then what good is it? What does it bring you? Nothing, right? Absolutely nothing. Tell me why you got into this space.
Well, I have my own journey, as you all, my bio shared in my bio. I was just telling her, my mother's hairstylist just came back from get her hair done. And I was sharing with her, my mother's always bragging about what I do. I'm like, thanks, mom. But I'm like, but I was sharing with the lady, how I used to be over 260 pounds, and I graduated from high school wearing a size 22. So I was always one of the bigger girls, and I went from being on one medication when I was diagnosed with high blood pressure back. I think I was about 24, I believe, or something like that. And then by the time I was 29, I was on another medication. And so for a couple, several years in my 30s, I was like, it is what it is. You still, sometimes we get medication, you don't change your habits. And I got to a place where, where I was just tired, tired of not feeling well, tired of taking medicine, tired of my clothes not fitting right, tired of putting on girdles, all of that stuff, all the waist. Now they have, they're fancy now, it's waist trainers and all that good stuff. But I just got tired, and I wanted to do something different for myself. And a lot of times, when we don't see other people who have transformed like that, we don't always believe. We just kind of accept what it is. And I got to a place where I wanted to make a change. And during the time when I was going through my transformation, I worked with a trainer, and later on I became a student under her. I began to work out, but train with her, but I also taught fitness classes for her. And a lot of the women in her classes, I became like the poster child for her business almost. It was like, oh, you're the one on the wall, like the before and after pictures. And so what the ladies will always, come to me after class asking questions, and I'm just rambling off, how we just give away information because we want to share. And I just got to a place where I wanted to help other women believe that they could do this too. Like, if I could do this, you could do this too. And I want to be that example, but I also want to inspire other women to take hold of their health, and do something different, and, and not just settle for what it is right now, and knowing that you do have the opportunity, you do have the power to change it. And so that's how I got in this space. And I've been rocking ever since. And then as an educator, the last 10, 11 years coaching teachers, mostly women. And a lot of times when they would come to my office for, lesson debriefs, and we're having conversations around instructional coaching, but then the conversation would change into a health coach conversation, because a lot of people, a lot of educators are dealing with, even before the pandemic, a lot of health issues due to workloads and things like that. And so I would end up having some coaching conversations. How much water are you drinking? What are you eating? Blah, blah, blah. And so it got to a place where I wanted to do something different in that space as well, after my own journey a couple of years ago of being down for a moment, and also losing my principal to heart disease. And after serving over 30 plus years in education, she didn't live a whole year to enjoy her education, her retirement. And so those are some of the things that inspired me to do this work, because I just know that if I can help one person, I'm doing God's work. And I know that, and I even recently, I have a coaching clients. I did an 8-week coaching program. We're down to the last week next week. And when I can hear my clients telling someone else at a luncheon about what they're doing differently and what they learned from me, that means I'm doing my job, because that means that someone else is being helped because of the work that I'm doing through them. So it's like, okay, let's do this. Let's continue to make this happen. And so that's what makes it meaningful to me, and knowing that I'm on the right track. And that's the assignment that God has given me, because it's not just about me holding all the information. It's about people being educated and be able to go now help the next person, reach back and help somebody else. And so that's what it's all about. Yep.
Wow, that's an inspiring story. I'm going to make sure that my colleagues get in here and ask some questions of you as well. So go ahead, have it, ladies.
I didn't have a question. This is Aaliyah, but I remember when you were introducing her and you said about health is probably more important than having money or having success. And I think I go back to, the creator or the owner of Apple, and he would probably rather be here today than be very wealthy. So we have to take care of ourselves. And it was no fault of his own what happened to him. But that resonated with me. And being healthy, I strive to be that way. I've watched a lot of family members pass away recently. So I'm thankful that I am still here and can wake up every morning and in some relative, good health. But as you said, you came a long way. When I was younger, I was really thin. They used to call me Skins. When I was younger. My uncle had a nickname for me. But when I grew up and had my first child, and I keep blaming my weight on my son, and he's in his 30s, And so I say, what am I doing? Am I going to be healthy enough to watch my grandchildren grow? And those are some of the things we really think about. And then as I was in the journey of actually trying to get my finances in order and making sure I leave my legacy, there are things that you have to make sure of before you can purchase life insurance.
Mhm.
And you don't take all those things into consideration when you are young. You just think, I can get up, I can bike, I can ride a bike right now. One bicycle accident can change somebody's life. But changing your eating habits and your lifestyle, I really resonated with your story about being overweight, and then you just flip that switch, Dr. Is it Tiffany? You just flip that switch and changed everything. So I really, that is a very powerful story, and I really appreciate that. And it gives us motivation, especially me. I'm supposed to walk every day, and I make every excuse I can not to walk. So thank you for that.
I have a question. What would you, hi Tiffany, I'm Saran. I have a question. What would you say to a sister or someone struggling with, consistency of staying on the path? Maybe they get into it and they do good for a while, and then the next thing you know, they're off the wagon, as they say. Like what would be some things you would say? I'm not gonna say I'm the sister I'm asking about, but I'm just
Well, one of the things I would say first, that you're not by yourself. That you're not alone. That is something that most women struggle with. Even myself, I've had my own battles like that too. But here's the thing that I have had some clients right now. We have those, but in this program we have created that consistency piece and conversation around that. One of the things I always ask, even when I do like workshops or retreats and things like that, or one-on-one clients, group, whatever it is, I always ask them to journal for a reason. My first journal question, or either it's the question I asked that I'm gonna ask you to actually be prepared to discuss, because you have to dig a little deep. So I always ask the question, what would a healthy and fit life bring you? What would it bring you? And I ask them, don't answer so quickly, because I want you to take a moment to really reflect on that question and write it down. And so, like, for example, the ladies who were in this 8-week coaching experience with me, that was their first journal assignment. And when they came back to the coaching call that next week, we had a whole conversation. I said, it is very important that you have this time to really meditate, reflect on this question, and be prepared to discuss. Because in that question, you're going to first and foremost discover your why. Because you have to understand what would a healthy and fit life bring me? Because I know I'm gonna use myself as that example, because I was the queen of falling off the wagon, getting back on the wagon, right? And I'm gonna have to try this again. Oh, I messed up. Oh, or I'm gonna go harvest 6 weeks, and then it's like, yeah, one bad day and it's a wrap. Like, I guess it didn't work out. And then we blame everybody else but looking at ourselves, right? And so, but when I start digging deeper, for example, when you go to the doctor and you're on medication for high blood pressure, and the doctor tells you, oh, it's hereditary, you're gonna be on it, and they just keep writing that script. They keep writing that script. But one day I got to a place where I said, you know what? I want to live.
right.
I want to live. I want to get off this medicine. I'm tired of popping medicine every morning. I'm tired of my knees hurting. So the why for me was that I want to get off this medicine so I can live my life, because I know that this medicine is not going to be good for me down the line to my organs, because they have adverse effects over time, right? And so what I would tell that person, that sister that has that issue, that, think about what your why is. It could be you living to be around for your family, or for yourself, or for everybody on here is a businesswoman. You have things that you've been called to do, an assignment. And so that's the first piece of it. So it's like discovering what is your true why. I talk about not the surface why. I want to look cute for my, reunion, the wedding, or whatever the case may be. Not those kind of whys. Those are surface whys. What's the real deep-rooted reason? What would a healthy and fit life bring you? And so in that helps to be what becomes that thing that drives you, that driving force that on that day you don't want to go to that gym, it's like, or that day, Alea, that you don't want to go, Aaliyah, that you don't want to go walk, you're going to remember that. So that's one of the first things, is that looking at, what is that thing that's going to make you say, like I told, like this week's topic in my coaching group was having a no matter what type of attitude. So like, what's going to be that no matter what for you? So for me, it was, I need to get off these meds because I'm too young to die. I was like, I don't want to be, and it was a story a coworker told, because God uses people that sometimes may not even be your closest friends. I was in a conference, coming from a conference in St. Louis a couple of years ago, and there was a coworker who sat next to me on the plane, and that coworker was telling a story about her mother who passed away, and she was saying how her mother had high blood pressure, she was on medications, and what happened over time, she began to have the medications that she was on, they affected her she began to have other issues because of the medication she was on for high blood pressure. And I'm sitting on a plane like, oh my gosh, I'm in my 30s. I don't want to die early. So that was part of that. And so when you think about those things, those are some of the things that was the drive for me. I need to get these meds. When I first started, I had a trainer, and sometimes you get these trainers, we pay all this money and then we don't show up, right? And for me, I had an ugly photo from one of them school proofs, one of my classes when I was teaching in the classroom. And I got the proof back. I said, is this me? I was like, oh no, is my stomach really hanging over? I was like, oh no. So I kept that piece of paper. Of course, y'all, I didn't pay for it, right? I was like, I'll just keep this little proof. I folded it up, and that picture was placed inside my gym bag. And so every week when I was time for me to go to training 3 times a week, and the days I felt like I really don't feel like going to training today, I would look at that picture and I would think about my pressure. And I said, it's time to go. Let me get my bag and keep moving. And so that's the biggest piece first, is discovering what is your why, what's going to drive you to have a no matter what type of attitude. And then here's the other piece. So when being consistent too, is that you have to also now create a new routine. What's going to be your routine? Because a lot of times we don't have one, some folks. I know I do, because I'm real particular about that. So I know I get up in the morning, I do this, I do this, I do this. So it's now creating a new routine or something that you're going to do different in your routine to help you reach success. It could be something as small as in the beginning, packing 3 meals per week. So then people say, girl, I don't cook. Well, you better figure it out because you want to shed these pounds. So, so it may be, okay, well, and I had to learn with my clients not to overwhelm them, because I'm like, you're going to have to prep these meals all 5 days. But I don't have that issue too much now with clients, because they want the people I have now, we have a process. But back in the day, even like now, though, same thing can apply. But anyway, I would say at least pack your lunch 3 times a week. You got to start somewhere, because what happens a lot of times, we go hard in the paint, and then we fall off because we create these really lofty goals that they're not realistic. So like in my program, for example, I do SMART goals, because they have to make sense. So if you know that if you're struggling already, I'm not going to ask you to prep 5 meals a day, but I make 5 meals per week. But I may say, hey, Saran, can you at least, can you do 3? Let's start with 3 and build from there. So I'm not going to say I need you to be at the gym 5 days a week, because sometimes that's not realistic for everybody. So it's like, let's create some realistic goals so that way you stick to it. And then after it becomes a real part of your routine and your habits, then you can add those extra days. So let's say, Aaliyah, you maybe 5 days a week to walk may be too much right now, but can you commit to at least 3? Whatever 3 that may be. Maybe you can't walk for a whole hour, but can you commit to at least 15, 20 minutes? That's better than none. So it's like, and then build from there. And if you do anything above the 15 or 20, that's all gravy. Keep it going. But it's like creating realistic goals and not overwhelming yourself, because we have already gone through a pandemic. We're already stressed out. We have jobs and balance and work. And if you're an entrepreneur, there's a lot going on. So you have to really look at, what can I realistically do that I can stay consistent with and I won't fall off the wagon? So that's the next one, right? Discovering your why, what's going to drive you. 2 is, setting realistic goals and giving yourself some grace and not overwhelming yourself, and really being realistic as to what you can do and then build from there. The third piece to the consistency part and staying on the wagon is getting you an accountability partner, whether it be a friend, whether it be a coach, whether it be a mastermind group. Like you are already a mastermind team right here. So it could be even the people right here within your team. Like, hey, girl, like me and Carmen used to do it for a while, actually. Carmen used to text me, I text her, we send the pictures, we sweating, look like we done been out in the sun forever. Like, I mean, so creating an accountability team that will hold you accountable. Even for me, I have my neighbor, she misses me right now. She said, when you coming back home, girl? Because what we normally do is we actually set days during the week that we actually walk or go to the gym. We even go grocery shopping sometime together and prep meals or decide on what our menu is going to be for the week. And so that helps us to stay on track. So that way we don't fall off the wagon. Because sometimes when you have your down day, you need somebody to say, come on, girl, we got this. I don't care if it's 20 minutes. We're going to go to this park and walk today. So you need somebody else to help also push the agenda. So that way you don't fall off the wagon, you stay consistent. And then the last piece of it is that setbacks do come. Life happens. Like I've been here. This has been rough coming here. It has thrown my whole schedule off. Because normally I may go for a week or so, but when you talk about 3 weeks, now I got to reset when I go home. Right. So, but when you're, the other piece is giving yourself the grace. So when you fall off the wagon, it's like, don't stay there. Like I told somebody yesterday, it's when you stay down is when you lose. It's when you get back up that you win. So you get back up, you dust yourself off, you fix your crown, and you keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I suggest to any. I know it's a little long-winded, but just to give you an idea of what it takes to be consistent, because that's the key. Excuse me. That's the key. But you need support. You can't just do it by yourself, and you got to have a plan. You got to have a plan.
Yeah, that was a good response because I wasn't asking for me, but I resonate with the one thing that you said because I wasn't a good routine. The person we're talking about wasn't a good routine, and then got kind of sidetracked and with real life things. Actually, it's
right.
Obviously, right. But similar to you, I went to help family, and it's just I just never really got back to my routine. So thank you for the mindset reset. Because it really is, it was just a thing. I mean, these ladies know. Now, they don't hold me accountable for snacks. They let me eat what I want. But we're tough on each other when it comes to business, for sure.
Yes. And the other piece, too, is to speak, I'm big about affirming yourself, speaking kind to yourself. Don't let the negative thoughts set up shop in your mind. You got to slap an affirmation on it or declaration, whatever works for you, because it's easy for your mind to play that trick. Oh, girl, you never gonna get this right. You're never gonna blah, blah, blah. And you have to say, no, I am a winner. I can do this. I got this. Like you have to constantly keep talking to yourself, because if not, you would talk yourself out of your goals. You'd be like, oh, it is what it is. So yeah.
Right. Tiffany, that's so right. We talked about this last week about mindset, making sure you have a positive mindset, because I can see how I can sabotage myself very easily throughout the day when I say, okay, you know what, it's getting dark, and do I really want to go outside? Then I think about it. I'm in a good mood, but what I've done is I've sabotaged my exercise for the evening, and I think it's okay. So I see, and then replace that with some positive thinking, and that picture. I'm going to go find a picture where I was really huge, and then put it somewhere I can see it. That should give me motivation.
Mm-hmm. And even if you have one, like I remember when I forgot, I don't know if it was my trainer or whatever, it might have been my trainer, and she was asking a group of us to bring in our old picture of us that we aspired to look like. I didn't have one. That's deep, y'all.
That's deep.
You don't have one.
And
so if you have one, that also could be motivation of the potential that you have of where you want to go again. So it's like, if you've been here before, then go back and get that picture, because that's also going to motivate you. Like if I did this, even for myself, I've had so many, Carmen, you've been walking the journey for a minute. So I've had a lot of situations that have happened to me over the last couple of years since I have met my weight loss goal. I've seen my scale go up a little bit and have to work my way back down. But the thing that kept me going was the fact that I knew that I could do it again. Like, because of the fact that I had receipts. I'm big on saying, I had receipts, because if I could do that, what I did before with less knowledge, and do it, and being where am now with all this knowledge and accolades, everything, then I know that I could do this again. And so that's why I say, so go back, and if you got an old picture that you say, hey, you know what? You don't have to be, high school skinny, but if there's a period of your life that you felt like, okay, this is where I felt the best about myself, this is where I would love to see myself again, then go back and find that photo and let that be something that drives you as well. So it can be either or.
Saran, I want to thank you for asking that question, but because that unpacked so many things. It unpacked so many things. And, sometimes I get tired of people talking about, oh, we just need a mindset change. We just need a, mindset. You know how I get. But when she started getting a little bit deeper, because you're talking about mindset change, but you're not telling people what to do. But when she got a little bit deeper, and not just the wedding, not just graduation or the reunion or whatever, but when she got deeper about what will a healthy life look like for you, I thought about it from a different way. And it's probably because of the space that we are in, but I'm like, Tiffany, a lot of times people, the younger you are, the healthier you are, the less insurance will cost, life insurance will cost. Mm-hmm. Tiffany, on the other hand, has kind of restarted her life. Like, she probably would legit be someone that they want to deny insurance back then. And even when we're thinking about these things, we're not even thinking about the fact that it can affect that. If I'm healthier, if I don't have the blood pressure issues or the pre-diabetes issues that everybody like to say, I'm pre-diabetic now. When doctors say, listen, there's no such thing as pre-diabetic. You're either diabetic or you're not. And so you need to, if you're getting there, you need to do something, right? But if you don't have those issues, building your wealth using life insurance will cost you less, because it's going to be a less cost for insurance, and the less cost for insurance means the more you can be putting toward building your wealth, right? So that right there hit. I'm so happy that we have her on here. Yeah, we're talking about money, but you understand, to the guests out there, why this is important, why this is an important conversation for us to have right now. And there were so many other things too that you said that just kind of resonated with me, that will be some things that I need to do, because I am one for sabotaging myself. I am one for, oh, well, I ate the ice cream already, so what's the difference now? Could I have the cookie? Because I'm gonna start next week.
I think that when you talk about how it affects people differently, especially when you're not just talking about a mindset change, I think that what resonates with a person's success, whether it be because as Tiffany was going over her path to weight loss and her steps, they're very similar to how we coach our financial clients.
Absolutely.
They're right on, they're spot on, they're the same thing. You have to, first develop your goal, your why. It's all, but healthy looks different in different people. Mm-hmm. So for me, going through my weight loss journey, and I lost a lot of weight, but I was successful in losing that weight when I realized that once I started to lose a little bit of weight, it automatically changed my mindset, meaning I felt healthier. Mm-hmm. I realized the results that I saw and I knew were going to be long-term. I realized I didn't have to say, I need to keep doing this so that when I wake up in the morning, my body isn't stiff. I didn't have to say, my back hurts all the time. It helped me to realize you see the success, but it's important to not, just like we coach with finances, don't try to tackle it alone. It's important to have, you don't want to think of a coach as, a nagger, but more like a cheerleader. It's very important to have that cheerleader. I have a coach. She's my cousin, right? and she's my cheerleader, but it's important for that coach to understand when to push, when to reward, when to pat, when to give the tough love. And I think all of that is important in mindset, because I noticed that I didn't need as much medication once I lost weight. I had more energy, I felt lighter, and I could focus. I wasn't all over the place. I didn't need multiple energy drinks to get through the day. I had the natural energy. And once I started to see that, there was no not doing it anymore. I guess I gave myself buy-in. So I think it's important to understand that when you're on your journey, healthy lifestyle is different for different people. For Aaliyah, it may just be, she feels better. But for me, it's like my mind is clear. I'm not as foggy. I don't need as many energy drinks. So I think it's important for everyone to find out what really drives them, because it may not be what's driving you in the beginning. It may not be the picture that you're posting that you think is driving you. It may be the success that you start to see as you continue on your journey. And it does not happen overnight. As a matter of fact, I lost like 58 pounds on my first weight loss journey. And guess what else it does for you when you lose a lot of weight? It makes you fertile.
You're right.
So I lost all of
Your
that
body's
weight.
healthy.
I lost all of that weight, and then I got pregnant. So guess what I'm doing now? Starting all over. So if you see a 40-plus-year-old lady in the grocery store and it looks like she has a toddler, mind your business.
So what she's saying is tie your tubes first, then I'm just kidding.
Look,
then get healthy and sexy.
Listen, I'm 46 with no children, and I never thought I would actually go through life without having children. But I'm married again, and I'm older, and I'm like, I'm not putting my body through that right now. I was like, how hard I work to get this far. I'm like, I'm good. Cause I'm in a better situation. I would be considered a little, of course, high risk because I'm older. But actually, my body is probably in better condition now to have children than it was when I was in my 20s, because I had all these issues. As a matter of fact, I never forget. I had a coaching session years ago with Queen Afua. You ever heard of Queen Afua? She's and so years ago when she was in Brooklyn, when I was in my early 20s, and I went to her for coaching, and I went to get the colonic and all that stuff. And she said to me, that if I was able to get off those medications, that I would be able to have a healthy baby. Because she was, talking about being concerned, because a lot of things happen when you're on high blood pressure medications and you're pregnant. It's a lot of things that could happen to the baby too. And so I was like, okay. But now I'm off those meds. I'm like, I'm good at this point. Because I was like, I never thought I loved
changed. Your mind changed. You're not
So I cannot believe, I know, Tiffany, you had allotted an hour for us, so I cannot believe that we have gone over an hour already. But I want to ask you, this was such a phenomenal conversation, but I just want to ask you some things that you would say to someone who's trying to get on. It's going to be a complicated kind of question. Someone who's trying to think about that, going in the right direction and changing what they're doing so that they can get toward that healthy lifestyle. What are some things? I know you already talked about mindset, so I'm looking for real things other than the mind and stuff like that. And then secondly, are there a couple of things that you think that we should definitely you should have as a part of whatever it is you're doing? Like today, Aaliyah asked me, does she recommend, what was it? CMOS. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Okay. So the first piece, of course, is someone who's trying to, get on track. The first piece we already talked about is mindset. You can't do it if you don't change your mindset. Because you're going to be going on, because if people think they could just exercise off, weigh that bad, no, you can't. You got to start here. That's the first thing. The next thing, once you get your mind right, then you want to get the food right. That's the other piece. like being able to now really evaluate what are you consuming. 80% of weight loss success is in the food that you consume. So so a lot of times when people say, "Oh, hey Tiffany, I'm not losing the weight." I said, "Can I ask you a question? Can you run down to me what you eat in a normal day?" And usually by the time they get to like lunch, I done already found the problem. It's like, so that's the other piece. The other one is that making sure that you're drinking enough water, hydration. So a lot of times, a lot of issues that people have lies in the fact they do not drink enough water. You're supposed to be drinking at least half your body weight in water. I know it sounds like a lot, but water is essential to every major organ in your body. And yes, you will be running to the bathroom quite a bit, but your organs are going to thank you later. And if you're looking to lose weight and you're not consuming enough water, that's going to be a problem. You also have to be willing to give up some things. Like I always say, goals require sacrifice. You have to be willing to give up some stuff. That may mean in the beginning, getting rid of, some of the sugary drinks that you like to drink, like the sweet teas and all that stuff, the sodas, getting rid of some of that stuff. That may be getting rid of the cookies. And I mean, not saying you can never do that, but in the beginning, you have to be all the way in, sold out, and to create that discipline so that way you can be successful. Because that's how you have to have the discipline mindset again, right? So that's the other piece. And then of course, getting active. And I'm not saying you got to throw tires and flip them over and jump on the boxes, but you can at least get walking. That's outside. It's free, right? So that's the other piece. The other thing you talk as far as things you should have, I always recommend having a good multivitamin. Oh, wait, first and foremost, no, I'm gonna back up. Go get a physical, please. Go get a physical. Get your blood work done. I go every 3 months to get blood work done because if something's going on, I want my doctor to catch it. Okay, and so go get a physical done. Get some blood work, full panel. Let them get them all the workups. So that way you can see what's really going on so you can make sure that you're getting the right supplements to deal with what your issues or deficiencies, I should say, may be, or to continue doing what you're doing. CMOS is great. I actually take CMOS. It's good to build your immune system. I take vitamin D. It's good for your immune system. I take vitamin C. Also good for your immune system. I also do the elderberry and those things. And that's why my COVID situation wasn't as bad. That's been my regimen for a long time. I do IV infused nutrient IVs with my holistic medical doctor every month. That helps to build my immune system, and it helps also to give me energy and things like that. And also it makes sure that I get the right nutrients, because sometimes we're taking vitamins that we shouldn't even be taking, but we haven't done the blood work to really find out what we're deficient in. Make sense? So when you start your weight loss journey, you want to at least make sure that you are getting the blood work done so you know what's going on in the beginning. The other piece too is detoxing your body. You can't put old wine in new skins. Isn't that the old saying, right? You can't put old wine in new skins. So I say it in reverse. So it's like you can't, if you start a new regimen trying to be healthier, you need to cleanse your body too, detoxing. I was a part of a process a couple of months ago. So now I fast once a week. I do a water fast on Fridays. It helps to reset your body, helps your cells to renew. It's a great thing to clear the mind. It helps to create discipline as well. And also it will move you off scale. When I tell you it will move your scale, it will move your scale. My friend and I, we actually implemented a fruit fast on Thursdays and a water fast on Fridays. That becomes part of me building my discipline. And then the other days I eat very clean. I do enjoy food when I want to go out now because I know how to do that because I am disciplined. I know how to get back on track. Like that's why when I get back home, I'm ready. Because I've enjoyed New York. I've enjoyed my cupcakes since I've been here. Because you also got to have balance. But in the beginning, those are things that I don't recommend that you do until you have at least achieved part of your success. Get to a point where you're seeing your pounds really go down. You change a couple of dress sizes before you try to fool around like that. Because it's easy to fall back. The last part of that too, Carmen, is buy you a scale. Yeah, a scale. Yeah. Because a scale is not your enemy. The scale is your best friend. The scale is your accountability partner when no one else is around. The scale is going to tell you whether what you're implementing as far as your regimen, whether it's working or not. whether the meal plan you created is really working with your body correctly. Whether if I change this food, will my scale move? That's how you know whether you're on the right track. But if you never step on the scale, you won't know. So in my home, I have in my bathroom, I have a calendar on the wall, and below my calendar, I have a scale. And what I do almost every day, it sounds crazy, but it's also part of, I did Noom a couple of years ago. It's part of a psychology to it. It helps you to stay on track. So I weigh myself every day for accountability and tracking because I want to see how my numbers are moving. What's the average weight? And so it's collecting data. And so what I do is I get up in the morning after I've gone to the bathroom, release the water, no clothes on. I step on the scale and I weigh myself and I track with a marker on my dates on my calendar. And it helps me to see. And then my main weigh-in day is on Saturdays. That's my truth teller. So throughout the week, I can fluctuate all day long. But by the end of the week, that number on Saturday has to be down whatever many pounds I feel it should be. And so that's why I fast on Fridays, so I can see what happens on Saturdays. And so that helps me. And then it's a motivation for me. I know, Shalon, I think you talk about motivation. I think we mentioned something about being motivated. It's a motivation when you start seeing the success, because now if I see that number on Saturday, I'm like, oh, it's on next week. Let's go. It's go time. That scale's going down next Saturday. So it's a motivation. And so I don't allow anymore for the scale throughout the week when I weigh, when the numbers go up and down. It's just a clue for me. Okay, Tiff, did you walk like you were supposed to yesterday? Okay, Tiff, so how much water did you really drink yesterday? So you start analyzing, what can I do better tomorrow to see if it makes a difference? And that's how you make that scale part of your team. Okay.
I love that, making the scale your part of your team, because some people get obsessive about their scale. I'm in the coaching that I have, we're in a weight loss group. But what I love is that I bought a scale that works with an app. And so when I step on the scale, it tells me all of that. And you're right, there's nothing like that motivation. I also fast. I actually fast on Wednesdays, and I do an intermittent fasting throughout the week anyway. But you've told us so much. You've told us your vitamins, you've told us, all of those great things. But I'm the nosy one of the bunch. They're all going to be very modest. I'm not. I'm really nosy. So what does a health coach eat? What is a day? Like, what is a regular day for a health coach? Tell us the truth.
I'm gonna tell you the truth.
I see what she eats.
So in the mornings, so let me back up. So I had my own setback a couple of years ago during the pandemic. I was diagnosed during the pandemic with adrenal fatigue, which is basically it's burnout. It's when you're and so, but just to set it up for you. So the year before the pandemic, my father died.
Oh.
And he died on Father's Day with me in the room pretty much.
Oh.
The trauma was real.
Yeah.
By November, around his birthday, you can say, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. Oh, I am not good, And so I went through a period of time for a while where I was on my regimen, not on my regimen. So I would say I would have days where I would do what I call half preps, where I may prep for half the day or half the week, but on a regular as of right now. So it took me a while. I was still doing healthy, but not like I would normally do it, right? And so then during the pandemic hit, then I got really sick, and I was pretty much couldn't do nothing. That's when that's why it's good to have blood work done. I found another doctor, kind of found out I had adrenal fatigue, and that explained a lot of different things. And so it got me but during that time being home and not wanting to do anything, I had picked up some weight. But this year I said, this is the year I get back on track. And so for me, in the mornings for breakfast, I work on a 400 calorie per meal regimen. If you look it up, it's one of the best regimens for women with weight loss who are trying to lose weight. And I do 400 calories per meal, and I do 4 meals a day. And I've cut out a lot of things that were like in my diet before that was good. But when you look at the glycemic chart, they still also produce sugar. Right? Like oatmeal, for example. And I love oatmeal, but I had to give it up for a little while. And so for me as a health coach, I normally do, I usually do a 2-egg omelet with spinach diced up. Sometimes I do, sometimes I have a little bit of feta in it, just a little bit. And I'll do spinach, and I'll have some fresh tomatoes cut up with it. I love fruit. So I have grapes, raspberries, strawberries, oranges, and whatnot. I've given up bananas for a little while because again, it's higher on the glycemic level. I got some body goals for this year because I'm back on track because we all get off track after a while, sometimes.
Right.
And then for my next meal, I love Greek yogurt. So I have Greek yogurt with blackberries in it. And I'll have some a quarter cup of pumpkin seeds that are from the farmer's market. They're the only place I can go to get them because I have a nut allergy. And so they're the only ones I know who haven't rubbed them with something else. And so for my next meal for lunch, I normally do like a salad. I have a salad and I may have chicken on it. I love salmon. I'm a cook. I have a cookbook out, Cooking Healthy with Tiffany. And so I love so I'll do blackened salmon and I'll put it over a salad. That usually be my and then I'll have what else I normally have with it? Some fruit. I usually have some kind of fruit with it sometimes too. For dinner, I usually have salmon. I'll do like a mixture of spinach, zucchini, squash, and things like that. That's my norm. Since I've been here, I've had a little bit of all of that, but I've also enjoyed some of my hometown things. Like, for example, we have a young lady who has it's a lot of Black-owned restaurants down in Brooklyn. So I've enjoyed some cupcakes with my family. I've had my junior's cheesecake. Okay. I've had my collard greens. I've had my mother for the first day. I had a pancake today for the first time. I normally don't eat that stuff. She made a pancake. But like the thing about it, that's a once in a blue moon type of thing for me. That's not something I do on a regular. And I'm proud of myself because I know years ago I wouldn't even tell you that.
Right.
Because I'm in a place of transparency and being authentic because I want people to understand that there is balance, that you still have to enjoy life and things that as far as foods that may not necessarily be the norm all the time, but you also the way to get to a place where you know how to cut it off. Because when I go back home, it's all back to normal for me. Like ain't no, because I got
you just need to know that you're a health coach, but you're still human.
Exactly.
And that's what's important.
Exactly. Do I have days where I haven't worked out a lot since I've been here. I've been really helped. My mom is 77 years old. I've come here to really help my mom get things in order. But I've only been to the gym since I've been here one time. But the thing that I have done is that I walk everywhere here. Like I walk blocks. We're talking about 10 blocks and more, going from my house down all the way to Nostrand Avenue, which is I actually tracked it on my watch. It's 4 miles going and coming, a little over 4 miles going and coming. So if I'm doing that a couple of days per week just to go up there and get stuff I want, like fruit from the fruit stand and things like that for my mom, I'm getting my exercise. I found any way to get the walking in so that way I still stay active, And then I also have detox while I'm here. I do my smooth move tea. I drink a lot of hot tea, peppermint tea. I've done partial fast days because here in New York, it's hard to find bathrooms out in the street. So I have to be careful how much I drink before I leave the house. And so, or don't drink it at all until I come back. So I've done partial like fasting days, or I've done fruit fast since I've been here and things like that. But it's being able to balance it out and still have fun and enjoy yourself. I'm on, I guess, vacation. So,
And what's important though is that you're not still during your weight loss struggle. Like you said earlier, you don't recommend someone who is just starting out to be relaxed on their exercise days, but you're past that now, And I think that's important to understand. People ask me all the time, like when I do go strict, they ask me like, how do you do that? How do you find stuff to eat? There's plenty to eat. But I think when you eat because you need to eat and not eat because you like eating, it makes a big difference.
And you have to be creative too with your meals. So like my friend would say, I make food look pretty. Like you have to be creative with it. Like for me, I'm a former big girl and I'm also a recovering emotional eater.
Yeah.
So and I didn't share that earlier before. I am a recovering emotional eater. I had to learn how to recognize my triggers and not let the triggers take over. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's a lot. And a lot of women I've coached are emotional eaters. That's something a lot of people deal with. Things happen. You feel like food. I ate when I was happy, sad, or just because. And so, but you got to be creative with the food though.
Yeah. Okay. So a couple of things before we go. So Tiffany does have, she has a cookbook out right now. Cooking Healthy with Tiffany. She does have a show. She goes live on cooking. Find her on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and follow her at Tiffany D. Williams. She sometimes cooks live with you. I'm going to let you tell them, Tiffany, exactly where to find you. But she also has a 6-week coaching program. I want you to reach out to her where she helps you all the way through getting your mindset right and figuring out what exactly to eat, how to do those meals, and how and what to do with your exercising. She had an amazing event called I Choose Me last year. Oh my God, it was so beautiful. I loved it. I loved the foods that she had there, and she's really down to her earth, right? She had the healthy foods, but then she had something for you to have a little bit of fun with. It's not so healthy, but it's just showing you that you could still spice it up, could still have a little bit of variety and things like that. So please, people, please reach out. When I share her, I'm gonna make sure I share her stuff on my page. I do share it already, but now that you're aware, you're gonna go ahead and follow her and reach out to her for those things. So before we leave, Tiffany, tell us some last minute things that you want us to know.
Well, as far as YouTube, some of the cooking videos, if you're on YouTube, you can find me at Tiffany Inspires. That's Tiffany Inspires on YouTube. A lot of my cooking videos are there, and motivational talks are there, and things like that. If you're on Facebook, of course, Tiffany Inspires, Cooking Healthy with Tiffany. That's where all the videos have been housed and whatnot. And tiffanyinspires.com is where you can find all the information in regards to my products and services. I am not the coaching program right now, Carmen. My 8-week coaching program is the last one of the year. I'm getting ready for a big season with Fit Teach. So this is my last coaching program for the year. I have managed to really help some women during this program. I have a one young lady. She's already probably lost over 20 pounds in the last 8 weeks. I'm really proud of her. The other people are between 15 and 20 pounds is the going number right now. I get the final numbers next week, but tiffanyinspires.com is where you can find information about me and connect with me. And of course, on social media at Tiffany Inspires as well. Or,
that's right. You can opt in and she will send you recipes and things like that. And tell them who does all of your designing of all your products. I think I know her.
All of my amazing designs and branding of my businesses. Matter of fact, I got something for you too right now, Carmen. It's done by Carmen. Yes, Carmen does all of my stuff. She's been with me for almost how long now, Carmen? Is it 6 years?
It's got to be 6 or 8 years, something like that.
It got to be somewhere around there. Yeah. Carmen has done everything. When I tell you everything for me, T-shirts and bottles and oh my goodness, what else, Carmen? Help me for my I Choose Me boxes. And,
she has aprons, things that says the aprons, pretty food
right,
for me.
Everything. Carmen has done it all for me. You hear me? Everything. If you see me with anything branded, Carmen did it.
I'm gonna make a shirt that said that Carmen did it. Girl, we have enjoyed you. Oh my God, we have enjoyed this conversation. I don't think we've ever been on this long. Oh my goodness. We normally try to keep it to an hour, but this was some really, really great information. And if you missed anything, people, go back, rewind, go through. There was some good stuff given away for free that people try to charge you for. So get in there and listen to that. Let's quickly do some outros for everybody else and get off these people's Facebook and YouTube.
Thank you, ladies.
All right, so let's quickly do some outros. Saran, you want to go?
Sure. I'm Saran Baker.
Saran, you look very, very pretty, by the way.
You can find me at saran10k.com. I'm your dead elimination queen. I'll keep it short tonight.
You look very pretty, Saran.
Thank you.
Love you.
As always. All right, go ahead, Shalonda.
Shalonda Kaiser Mitchell. You can find me at shalondakaisermitchell.com and all social media of Shalonda Kaiser Mitchell. I am your finance counselor. I help you with your spending plans, your debt plans, help you see it through, put you in some financial coaching, whatever you need. Reach out to me at shalondakaisermitchell.com.
All right.
Leah, this is Aaliyah Sherrod signing off. Thank you guys for joining us. You can find me at Aaliyah10K, Aaliyah Sherrod on social media. And on Instagram, you can find me at Cover Your Family. Thanks so much for joining us.
That's right. That's right. And Tiffany, you told them Tiffany Inspires. Is there any place else they should look for you? Oh, you on mute. You're muted.
TiffanyInspires.com, Tiffany Inspires on Facebook, or cooking up with Tiffany on Facebook. Same, those, either one of those, but you can find me on those.
And I see your TikTok getting some fire there too. I give some likes when I see it. So that's awesome. All right. And I am Carmen Bernard. You can find me at carmen10k.com, bigfacts.com, carmenKbernard.com. Wherever you go, you can find me. Reach out as we and let's connect. And thank you so much for joining us, and have an amazing rest of your evening. Thank you. Bye-bye.